Hello there, Cheryl here, your no sugar coach. Welcome to day 5 of my carnivore experiment. Today is December 31st, which means it's New Year's Eve. So happy New Year to you. This is the last day of me eating just sardines and salmon and butter. So tomorrow I will enjoy a nice ribeye steak for New Year's Day dinner. I absolutely love beef. It's my favorite meat on the whole planet. Okay, so what about today? So here's my progress so far. So this morning I'm down another whole pound, which was kind of surprising, but a very welcome surprise, which means since December 27th, so in 4 days, I've lost 5.5 pounds. And yeah, I'm happy about that. But, I'm being realistic. That's not going to be sustainable. At some point, the weight loss will stall. And, I'll be dropping, holding, dropping, holding. Who knows how the pattern's going to go, but that's how it's gone in the past. But I'm just looking forward to breaking out of this stall that I've been in for about 3 years. So hopefully this is the beginning of a wonderful adventure. All right, so blood glucose levels this morning were 4.9, or if you're in the States, 88.2. I'm really pleased with those readings. The ketones went from 0.4 millimoles yesterday to 0.9 this morning, which is like almost at that one. I want to get between 1 and 3, so I'm almost there. Now, I should mention that in yesterday's video, I accidentally referred to ketones in milligrams, like readings in milligrams. It's not milligrams, it's millimoles. So I'm sorry about that. I did make some corrections in the show notes. So if you go back and watch yesterday's video, yeah, I meant to say millimoles. Now, let's see. Yesterday, I had what I will call a non-scale victory, and I will describe it this way. So last night, my husband and I went out to visit with friends. It was just a get together, cup of tea after dinner thing. And of course, the hostess is phenomenal. She does all the right things. And of course, she puts out little snackies and finger foods, and she goes through a lot of trouble. And so that's a little bit of a challenge when you're going out and you're being entertained. Um, and so how did I deal with that? How did I deal with going out and being in somebody else's house and having these temptations around? And of course, it's the time of year when it's easy to just kind of justify splurging and eating off plan, right? It's almost a new year. I can eat whatever I want. I'll be good tomorrow. And of course, that would only spell major trouble. So I knew I had to be prepared before going. And so what I decided to do was I decided to have my dinner like right before we headed out the door. So I had my can of salmon and with the 2 tablespoons of butter. But to ensure that I would be good and full for the duration that I was there, I added 2 extra tablespoons of butter. It sounds gross, but it was actually quite tasty and it really did the trick. I mean, I was full, I was not interested in food. Um, and so that worked really well. The other thing that I did when I got there is I saw where the table was with all the goodies on it. I sat at a chair that was furthest away from the food, from all the treats. And so those were 2 little techniques that worked for me last night because I breezed through the evening. We had a lovely visit, and this is what I call a non-scale victory because when you're on a weight loss journey or a wellness journey, it's not just about the pounds that you're losing, but it's also about the small changes, the small positive changes that you're making along the way, because those are the things that are going to keep things going. It's just, it makes things sustainable, and you have these little victories along the way that just keep you moving forward. And yeah, so last night was a complete success. I was really happy with myself. And it felt good to be able to come back here this morning and to be honest with you and to say, I did well last night. There was a little bit of a challenge, but I did okay. And I hope that that inspires you as well, that, hearing my little stories for whatever they're worth, that perhaps they inspire you as well. Anyway, so now I'm going to be changing up my diet again. So I'm going to go from eating just fish and butter to reintroducing other animal meats. And I want to do the transition properly. And I don't know what that is, but I know that I want to maintain the right amount of macros, like my fat to protein ratio is going to remain important. And I know that if I just, slap a huge steak on my breakfast plate tomorrow, that's not going to work. I think that it would make my stomach uncomfortable. So what I decided to do is to start my day with a couple of fried eggs and some smoked salmon. And for lunch, I'll have something like shrimp with maybe a couple of bacon strips or a little bit of fried pork belly. And then for dinner, I'll have a small ribeye steak. Now, before I eat all of that, I'm going to go to my the chronometer app I was telling you about yesterday, and I'm going to figure out how much of what I'm planning to eat um, will help me reach that 70 to 80% macros without consuming too many calories. And there's that calorie word. So yes, calories do matter. They matter for me because I'm only 5 feet a half inch. I'm not very active and I'm over 60. Now, I can't sit down to a huge steak, 5 strips of bacon, and 6 eggs and expect to lose weight. I mean, I have the capacity to eat that much. I may be tiny, but I have a really big appetite. Um, but eating those quantities and that many calories is not going to get me the results that I'm looking for. So, what I do know is the number of calories that I can consume daily. So I have figured out my total daily energy expenditure. There's I'll share a link to where you can figure out your own total uh, daily energy expenditure if you're curious. For me, for my height, age, activity levels, etc., that's about 1,400 calories. Sometimes I can have more calories and sometimes fewer, but generally speaking, around 1,400 calories. So within the 1,400 calories, I have to figure out how much of the shrimp and the bacon and the steak and the eggs that I can have. And so that's how I'm starting to transition. And after tomorrow, I will continue over the next few days to eat fatty fish with at least one meal and continue to reintroduce other animal foods. So I think in day one, I told you that in this carnivore experiment, I am not going to be eating dairy products. They are problematic for me. They are addictive for me. I am a recovering food addict. So I've recognized that when I eat things like cheese, 1 ounce morphs into 2 ounces, morphs into a lot more. And then I want to start cooking with it. I want to add it to an omelet. I want to put it on my burgers, and it's not good for me. So, but if you can eat dairy, God love you, but I can't. So I won't be eating dairy during this experiment. I'm just eating fatty animal meats, and I will add extra fat if I'm eating lean, like if I decide to have a chicken breast, or if I eat fish or seafood. That's just too lean, and I'll be hungry, so I know that I'll have to add some butter or bacon fat or buck fat or whatever. So that's the plan. So I will continue to show up here. I'll be here tomorrow on New Year's Day and let you know how today went. I'm excited to wrap this up. I'm really excited about that steak tomorrow. Anyway, don't forget to subscribe and to like before we part ways. And thank you so much for watching. I want to wish you and your loved ones a happy new year and all the best in 2025. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.